Second night, first match right here. Well, pre-show to be exact. We had Liv Morgan going one-on-one versus Natty. Out of these two, I would say the one that deserved, the one that needed it the most. I don't know if deserved is the proper word, but I would say that Liv Morgan, that last match at the Elimination Chamber, she needed this. That was like the build-up and anticipation of what she was planning on doing. So her coming out here ahead, it was by roll-up. They were actually going back and forth until she got the final roll-up to get the 3. NXT Women's Champion Rhea Ripley defending it versus Charlotte. Every WrestleMania, she just knows the right technique. Every approach she's always taken, it's always been that. And Rhea Ripley, I mean, she kind of worked on him. She was ruthless. Like both of them, I would say Rhea Ripley held her own weight throughout all 30, I would say about 30 minutes. It was a long, lengthy match. But at the end of the day, her working on the leg, locking in the figure 8, she was tapping. She wasn't going to walk away with that in the brand new NXT Women's Champion. How do you move up in the ranks? Well, you got to go to school. You got to get your grades up, work on your B's, your A's. Well, it's coronavirus season, hero fakes, so you can't go to school. You got to stay home. But in Raw, if you want to plan on moving up in the ranks, you have to win a big match at WrestleMania. No, this is not a big match. This is something to give these guys an opportunity to have some kind of spotlight at the grandest show, which ain't feeling like that. At least not this one. Yesterday was a different story, but we need to continue through today's card, and that was Bobby Lashley versus Aleister Black. Dominance, of course, Bobby bringing the new gear, the new look, and Lana, of course, at ringside. She's got to be there. She's got to support her bro, and at the same time, Aleister Black, she's got to include some kind of distraction, but the distraction, it wasn't on Aleister Black. Matter of fact, Lashley got distracted. She started yelling, spear, spear, so he let him go. He put him down. He was going to go for the spear, but when he did, instead of clocking him with the spear, he got the black mass right there to capture the win. Otis fighting for the love that he's been chasing after these weeks, right? Been coming after Mandy Rose. He wants to get some of that sweet, sweet pie, but she didn't appreciate that. She was like, I think what it is, you guys, this is the way that I'm seeing it, and I know it's part of a storyline, but I think she just didn't like the fact that Mandy Rose, she was parting ways with Sonya Deville. And tonight, we saw the division come into full play. Now, she was at ringside. Mandy Rose, she ended up coming out until a little bit later. We'll talk about her in just a sec. But she ended up distracting the referee, and he got him with a low blow. And that's where Mandy Rose, she came to the rescue, man. She came down into the ring. She gave him a taste of his own, kicked him in the midsection, and guess what? We got the worm. We got 1, we got 2, and we got 400 pounds. I don't know the exact weight, but I know that it would definitely hurt if Otis came crashing down. And on top of it, dude, he got the love of his life, man. She's so pretty. Last man standing rules. You have the count of 10 to get back up on both feet before you're out. In this match, it was everywhere. It was all over the arena. Actually, it was more towards the gym area. That's where it was mainly targeted. And then they went to some storage facility. All the action, like you saw barely anything going on in the ring. The only thing we really saw in the squared circle was Randy Orton. Once the entrance had hit, no, everybody was looking for him. No, he wasn't coming out. You were wondering if he was even going to show up. And then guess what? He hits him with the RKO to start the match. You can consider that the beginning of the end. This match was gruesome to watch. The entire match was just nonstop weapons, chairs. They even took it up all the way up to the top of a semi. Yeah, I'm serious. Like they climbed up. First it was a truck. He gave him a DDT on top of the truck. Then he found a couple of steel chairs. He says, you know what would be really nice to go up top on that semi? How about a couple of them, right? Let's throw 1. Let's throw 2. And he wanted to utilize that, man. We saw a spear also from the top of there as well. And we saw an RKO. That way, just to kind of prep it all, right? To get everything warmed up. And he thought that he was going to use the chairs on him, except instead, it was the other way around. Randy Orton, he was down for the count on top of that semi, and he saw his opportunity, and he didn't want to do it. He was considering it. He wasn't sure if he wanted to go through with it. Then he looked up to the rafters as if he was praying or something. I think he was just wishing him the best to let him know that, hey, I might hit you with this steel chair, but when I do, I mean nothing but evil intentions. And I don't know if it was so much that it was an evil intention. I think it was, he took it too far. Randy Orton, he took it way too far with the storyline, bringing his wife into it. So did he get what he deserved? Let's find out. 1, 2, 3, all the way up to the count of 10 for Edge to pick up the win right here in the last man standing. We have a call-up. I think we just might have a call-up. Bianca Belair, she made her debut at the end of the match. There was no interference, but tag team titles, right here, the Raw tag team titles were being defended by the Street Profits. We had Fury and Garza, and it was high-flying, quick within 7 minutes at best. But I will say that all 7, they were all highlight spots. It wasn't enough though. Street Profits still came out ahead. Bianca Belair just going to town on Selena. Is it going to be a regular Monday night thing? Is she going to align herself with the Street Profits on the main roster? Makes sense why her figure's being released. Very stoked to see where this goes. But yes, the Street Profits, they retain the tag team titles. Fatal 5 for the Smackdown Women's Championship, and it is going to be process of elimination. We got Naomi, Sasha Banks, Bayley, Tamina, which was considered the wild card, and Lacey Evans. First one that they need to work on, we got to eliminate the biggest threat. And the biggest threat right here, Tamina Snuka, man. She ain't no easy feat. So everybody climbed on top of her, pinned her out, and got this going. Naomi, she was the next runner-up. These two right here were teaming up on her, and they said you might as well dance all the way back to the entranceway. She didn't appreciate that, man. You didn't have to say that. Come on, boss. You're better than that. And Lacey Evans, she was outnumbered right here, but there was distraction. These two were arguing. They were talking about how you almost cost me. What are you doing? What's going on? Lacey Evans, what were you doing, man? I'll tell you what she was doing. She was eliminating Sasha Banks. She got taken out, but don't count her out quite yet. Let's put her towards the back because this wasn't the last that we saw of her. Now, Sassy Southern Belle, she was doing her work. She almost got the win too. Had Sasha Banks not come back in, getting her with the backstabber, and for her to retain the SmackDown Women's Championship, Bayley. So look, regardless of the gold, I don't think that'll separate these two, man. Matter of fact, one thing I could see for happening in the future is not only her retaining this, but also being like a double champ, maybe like a tag team champ. I don't know, we'll see. The time being though, we got to give it up right here to Bayley for her to go in here against some of the best women over on SmackDown and still maintaining her SmackDown Women's Championship. What in the world did we witness? It started out like as if it was going to be a real match. John Cena came down, but then it went back to the monitor. It went back to the Firefly Funhouse because that's what it was. It was a Firefly Funhouse match, and there really wasn't much actual fighting involved. It was more of a timeline, not just for John Cena, but also Bray Wyatt. It blew my mind. Like, this is something that you would have to watch at least a good handful of times to digest everything. Like, I'm still trying to process as to what we watched. It was the burial of Bray Wyatt, the process of how Mr. McMahon destroyed the name of what Bray Wyatt was before until the time that he reinvented himself. John Cena, first match, well, actually the first approach that he used with the mind game was early Cena. He was pretending to be Kurt Angle. He was calling him out. He was doing the open challenge. And John Cena, not this guy. Well, actually, it was this guy, but it was in this attire, and it was the funniest thing. It was so cool, you guys. Like, it wasn't just this. It eventually went to Master of Thugonomics, and he was ripping him a new one. I mean, he was cussing him. He was swearing. He was trashing him so bad that Bray Wyatt, he almost broke down in tears. Like, they were genuine tears out of just anger. Just going back 6 years to WrestleMania when John Cena destroyed him, and the crowd, like, they were chanting. They wanted to see something different, and they didn't. They just kept going on as if it was like the merry-go-round. That's what it was. As they were going through the timeline, and I know all the stuff that I'm saying, it makes no sense, but that's what it was, you guys. Like, the only time that we saw the in-ring match or the competition was at the very end. Once it was John Cena, like, eventually kind of snapping out of it, he went into, like, the New World Order attire, and he went at him, but then he disappeared. Well, actually, it was regular Bray Wyatt that ended up disappearing, and then the Fiend reappeared right behind him, similar to how he did on SmackDown, where he was like, "Let me in," and then he cinched in, right, the mandible claw, and then this Bray Wyatt. So technically, not only was the Fiend inside the ring at the exact same time, but also Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt went in there once he had gotten the mandible claw and Sister Abigail locked in. He went ahead and pinned him. 1, 2, 3. The disappearance of John Cena, he vanished in midair. So it was, again, very similar to like Undertaker and AJ Styles, where there was just a lot of like cinematic feel. And Fiend, not sure where this is going, but I gotta say, I was loving every minute of it. WWE Championship, the main event of the night, the main event of WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre thinking he can come up here against Suplex City Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman's yelling nonstop. He's like, this guy could be just a crowd in and of itself. Gotta say, Paul Heyman, you're always doing a hell hell of a job, but tonight you weren't doing that. Claymore, that's how the match started. He hit Brock Lesnar right off the gate. Beastie didn't appreciate it. I mean, it was one F5 after the other. After the other, I think it was 4. He was managing to kick out of all of them. The first one actually only got a 1 count. After that, it was only 2 counts, and he came back with 4 Claymores of his own to capture the WWE Championship. Crazy that it took as long as it did. The chosen one, all those years, 10 years back, Vince McMahon choosing him to be the one to lead the company into the future. He might do so. Beastie, what do you plan on doing? You might as well just take a break. Take it like 2-3 months. I mean, you would have taken a break either way, but go at least enjoy your time off because we have now declared a brand new champ over here on Monday Night Raw. Give me your thoughts. Let me know how you guys feel about it. Do you think the no crowd was in an effect to any of these superstars? Would you have preferred to see something different when it came to this or that Firefly Funhouse match, man? It wasn't a match, but it was one for the ages. I want to thank you guys for watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and we'll see you on the next one.